What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Jered, Big Baby Anderson. Get this, Jered Anderson to Filip Hrgovic. He says, be careful what you ask for. And of course, Hrgovic had already done enough to earn a shot at the IBF world title, but just because you're entitled to a shot at the crown, it doesn't mean you'll get what you deserve. Normally, Hrgovic's best weapon is in the ring is the left hook. It might still be. This time around, however, he tied both his hands behind his back and began to play the waiting game. With Usyk and Tyson on a contract to fight 2 fights for each other next year, Hrgovic, 17-0 with 14 KOs, figured that the next best thing he could do was to remain busy. All right? And he said, Hrgovic, viewing him as an opponent that got back to Anderson, he said, the heavyweight division is a ton of options. Jered Anderson, although he's highly regarded and views as a future star, Hrgovic doesn't see him what all the hype is about. When asked to give his thoughts, he claimed that Anderson, he could beat him without breaking a sweat. And Anderson said, be careful what you ask for. You just might get it. Okay, I'm just finishing the rest of that statement, right? And let me counterpunch. I think Anderson is absolutely correct. I think if Filip Hrgovic says something like that, you know, you can do that without breaking a sweat. Well, let's see the fight. You know, put the pen to the paper and fight that young man. Because, see, that will get Jered Anderson exactly where he needed to be if he can beat Filip Hrgovic. That puts him in the circle of everybody. Okay, so if Filip Hrgovic really feels that way, he needs to take that fight. Now, if he can take out the young American, okay, that's a totally different issue, isn't it? But if he can't, that's Jered Anderson's time and opportunity to be or to do exactly what he wants to do. Because it's so many fights, you know, the right type of fight can get you in the right type of position, you know, and I've never been an admirer of people that talk lower of a fighter just because he's not as known or he doesn't have that pedigree. If people are talking about him, that's the guy you want to take out. Take out Jered Anderson now while he has all the skills and he's on fire and he's hot shit. Not when he takes a loss, not when this happens bad in his life, not when that happens bad in his life. Sure, he's had some bumps and bruises and some curves and some turns, but he's still a good fighter, okay? He's had a little scare with the former IBF champion, Charles Martin, but he still beat Charles Martin. You know, his skill alone beat Charles Martin, okay? So I would like to see Filip Hrgovic fight Jered Anderson and beat him without breaking a sweat. See, that's how you solve all that. You know, don't let your mouth write a check that your ass can't cash simply because it sounds good at the time, just because you knocked out a 40-year-old dude that pretty much didn't even belong there in Mark Demore. You know, he hit Mark Demore and Mark Demore was like, oh, dude, what are you doing to me? You know, do that shit to Jered Anderson. Do that to another undefeated fighter, not a guy that's been whooped a few times and he's way past his prime. Bars. So Jered Anderson says, be careful what you ask for, because it's like, okay, you know, Filip Hrgovic, he holds all the cards right now. He can do whatever he really wants to do. He can sit on his ass, right? But if he's talking this type of way, hopefully he said that for a reason. See, when you are at that position that Hrgovic's in, and you make a comment like that, you're saying that for 2 reasons. 1, you really believe that guy ain't worth a shit, Jered Anderson. Or 2, you're trying to lure him out into a fight to show everybody that he ain't worth a shit. You're either doing one of the 2. Right? Or you're just talking shit. You just want people to believe something that you won't do, and I hope that ain't an option. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Jered Anderson replying to Filip Hrgovic. Be careful what you ask for. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!